So hi, Will the Good Noise Podcast. I'm Shane,
I'm Glory.
and we're here with.
I'm Callum.
I'm Will.
I'm Adriano, and we're actually 3/4 of Coral Palms. There's one more of us, and that's Ollie. But he hasn't been able to join us today.
Oh,
It's all right. So we're gonna ask you some questions today. I'm gonna start. So what inspired the creation of the band, and what does the band name mean?
The band name actually comes from an episode of the show Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So I don't know if you clocked that because obviously you're from the US. But yeah, it's based on an episode. I think they go to like a beach resort called Coral Palms. That's where Ollie got the name. Then he lifted it from there and then kind of attached it to the British seaside town of Torquay. I don't know if you've heard of Torquay in Devon, but yeah, I guess that's where he got the name from. Sort of the beach palm tree vibes. Obviously, you kind of get that in the name. Yeah.
yeah,
I like that.
solid.
Yeah.
And what inspired you to start the band?
How'd you guys get together?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's the other part of the question. Yeah. We met at university in London, and Ollie was like he was in all my classes on the first day of second year, and he was just like a real standout character. Kind of like on our lunch break, he was like, "Oh, let's just go for some Jaegers." We had like a 45-minute lunch break, so you could kind of tell what this guy was about from day one. And then we we booked like a rehearsal room after a day of lectures. Just thought it would be a jam. Didn't really know if anything was going to come of it, if we were going to like play well together or anything like that. But yeah, it went really well. And Echoes, our first song, was the first thing that we ever jammed together. Yeah, first thing that ever came out. That riff and the drums, and then Ollie wrote the vocals like a day later. So yeah.
And then I joined after because those Ollie and Will came up to me and asked to like produce the track, but this was before I was in the band, and we kind of struck up like a really good musical relationship, and it worked really well. And for one of our uni assignments, we had to like do a performance as kind of one of our final grades, and they asked me if I wanted to play in the band for that assignment as well, and I said yes. And it just works really well, so we just carried on doing it.
Yeah, that's where I came in as well. That gig that we had to put on, I asked them if they still needed a bass player. I'd never met Adriano before, but I was quite close with Will. So I put my name in the hat, and then it just kind of tumbled into all four of us thinking as a band.
Yeah, that's sick how it all just came together at the end. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So congratulations on your newest release, Echoes, as you mentioned.
Thank you very much.
Of course,
Thank you.
it's a banger. How do you feel about the response to it so far?
Amazing. Feels great.
Yep.
Yeah. Especially like family and friends just like saying like when they're listening to the song, they're like, "Oh my god, is this you?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
which is great. And then like seeing other people sing it on other playlists. Obviously like reading all the analytics on like our Spotify stuff is like, it's crazy to see where the songs reached. So it feels great.
Hell yeah!
That's
It's just amazing that like just over a month ago, only 5 people had heard that song, us 4 and our manager, and then now it's got to the point where more people than we ever would have thought of listened to it. So it's just quite overwhelming, isn't it? But,
Deserved.
That's mad.
So you guys stripped down the song as well. Can you tell me a little bit about the process behind that?
So we kind of thought like, obviously going to music uni, we ended up being quite musical people. So we might as well use as much of our musical talents as possible and like develop multiple assets along this single. And we kind of jammed it around. I think that how that came about, like we were like, okay, we need to create like a stripped down, like acoustic-y vibe. And we jammed it, and it just kind of had like a natural, I think we were in the studio, we kind of like felt a natural swing, and it is there's quite a lot of harmonies that we've put in there now, so it's very different from the full track. It's just kind of a jam.
I think we just enjoyed doing it, didn't we? I think we've done it with all the songs. Is we've written these like indie rock, indie pop tracks, and then we've just ended up eventually going and stripping them back, and because you get to see it in a different form, and there's new aspects that you can add and take away and stuff like that. So it was just
I think
progression for us. I think to do that.
Yeah, it reflects like the other sort of influences we have as well. Like obviously, we all love indie music, but we all have quite chilled influences as well. And I feel like that kind of inspired the acoustic cover, like more chill stuff that we listen to, like Tom Mitch, Arlo Parks, people like that.
Yeah.
All right.
That's fair. Do you guys think you'd do it again for like just your upcoming tracks?
Well, the stripped down versions of the songs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we've done. I think we've done one for like all the upcoming singles. So yeah.
Oh, wait. So you already have them like prepared?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, this whole like last year of the obvious, it's kind of put us in a position to just create as much as possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we've got music planned. We've got, I want to say like 7 or 8 songs.
Oh wow, that's an album.
And yeah, and like I think 3 of them have stripped versions with them. So yeah, we're going along as fast as we can.
Definitely, that's amazing. I'm happy to hear that.
I think the thing with the stripped back session as well, it was kind of the people who actually not cared as necessarily, but the people that have come back to listen again seem to have really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
and it seems to be something that they've liked. So give the fans what they want.
Definitely, yeah. It was definitely something that I did loop for a little bit, because usually stripped down tracks are not like, I guess, not as good as the original.
Boring.
That's usually boring. I didn't want to be the one to say it, but sometimes they're boring. But your take on it was it was really refreshing to hear a stripped down track that wasn't just like, it's just one person and it's just straight playing, I guess.
I think like when I'm like looking at developing music, it's like if the song works as bare bones, then it's gonna be like even better when it's fully produced. So if you can take away all the fancy stuff, like all the bells and whistles, and make it work like in its basic form, then it's just gonna be a great song.
For real.
Definitely, I agree. Can you tell me a little bit about your writing process for the song, actually?
Yeah, so this was kind of written in the very early days of the band, when it was just me and Ollie, basically. Obviously now we kind of write as a 4, as like a unit. But yeah, it's kind of like what I was saying. We sort of made the instrumental parts in that like 2-hour rehearsal that we had at the end of our day of uni lectures, give or take, basically all the instrumental parts. And then Ollie was on his way. He used to work at a pub called Weatherspoons, like a British pub chain, and he was on his way to work, and he's just sort of penciled the lyrics whilst he was on his journey to work. So it's quite instantaneous, really. Everything just kind of stuck. And then when we took it to the studio, like we always say, when we took it to Ad's studio, it kind of came to life very quickly, because I think we all kind of just got the sound of that track, and that underpinned the sound of the band, and that brought us all together musically. So very, very quick, very instantaneous process, and I think that's reflected in like the nature of the song, because it's quite in your face, quite punchy, quite raw in places. So yeah.
Definitely.
All right. So can you tell me where your headspace was at while you guys were writing this track?
This one for Ollie, I think, really, isn't it?
Oh man.
I think it's a typical kind of breakup love song type thing, and I think it was, lyrically especially, I think it was very reflective of where Ollie was at that point in time. It's a shame he's not here to put it so poetically like he normally does.
Yeah, he is quite a poetic guy, as you can tell from his lyrics. He is. He's got a way with words, and I think, as I said, like it's just reflected in the song. He's a guy that has like, he's really good at having like experiences and kind of putting them out in words, which kind of go beyond the experience so that people can have different experiences but like relate to the message still.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That makes sense. So while going through this track, what band or artist influences pop out the most to you? Hopefully all of you can answer this one. Just Ollie.
For me, for me, like from like the production point of view, I'm really inspired by a band called Cruiser. I don't know if you guys have heard them. So I think the demo of the track had a little bit less energy. It was a bit more like reverby, and I kind of like injected that energy, which I was influenced from Cruiser. So that's my point of view.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, I think Ad's right. I think before we took it to his studio, it was a lot more ambient, a lot more sort of kind of like. There's a British band called Fickle Friends. I was listening to them like 24/7 at the time, and that was where I got most of the inspiration for like guitar riffs and stuff. Them and bands like Two Door Cinema Club and the 1975. So it's kind of got that sort of ambient indie feel, but it's been like beefed into like a thicker, more rockier sound, I suppose. Which is
Definitely.
All right. So this question should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe the single for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less. All of you have to do it.
I feel like we're going to have the same 3 words, you know?
Yeah.
Imagine.
I'd say go with, I will go with in your face.
Yeah,
That's
well
good.
said. Well said.
I'll go in your face.
I want to say like, no, you go.
Well, all right. I'll go with fast, fun, and energy. Yeah, I was trying to think of another word with F, but I couldn't. So never mind.
I was gonna say energy, but can't do that one anymore. So okay, 3 words. Aggressive.
Okay.
All the other words have already been used now. I can't think of
There are so many other words.
there are,
so
but like as
many
soon as
words.
someone asks you for the words, you're like, I don't actually have any anymore. I'm sorry, I've run out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking.
Loud.
Loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a good one. All right.
And sexy.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that as well. Actually.
Solid.
Aggressive, loud, and sexy. Okay.
Oh, that's a bit, you know.
You're not what I
kind of
expected.
banned it
Put me on the spot now.
Okay. So where do you guys see the band in the next 5 years? And you guys mentioned that you have new songs and also stripped down versions of those new songs. What can you tell us about those?
So in terms of, well, we actually chatted about this recently. We were talking about where we want to see ourselves, and we were talking about playing at Glastonbury Festival. That's like a big goal of ours, and just kind of being a name in the UK and eventually in the world. You know, just we just want to make really great music and hopefully other people can see that. And with the new songs, we have a tune coming out on Friday 16th. So what date is this going to be coming out?
Oh man,
A month. Just say a month.
Okay, so the song's already out. The song's already out. You have to
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, we have a song coming out at the end of this week, and there is a stripped version to go with that. And then, I mean, yeah, plenty of music planned. You just have to keep tuned, you know.
Hell yeah. All right.
I think for me, like growing up, going to a lot of gigs, going to see bands that I love in different venues across mainly London, but you know, other cities as well. I think just it would be nice to be able to get to the point where I'm playing on those same stages, where you know,
for real,
achieving things that other people that we've aspired to manage to do as well. So I think that's a massive thing. The live side of it is huge for us. So
yeah,
the idea of fans turning up to your gig and more fans turning up the next time.
Yeah,
That's what we want. That's what
For
we're
sure.
going for.
for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, festivals like I don't know where you guys are based in the US, but I mean SXSW and like festivals like that would be great to play. I mean, maybe even Coachella one day. That would be
Yeah.
that's
be
like the
sick.
US
Oh, yeah.
Glastonbury, isn't it? So
Yeah.
definitely. I think just going to the US in general would be mad. Going to another continent or another country as a band would be awesome experience. To be fair, that'd be sick. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Definitely.
So for the last couple of questions, where I shift away from music and go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Oh my god.
Oh, okay. I think for me it'd be surf and turf. So like a steak and lobster.
Oh,
Oh,
And
nice.
drink would be Mountain Dew.
Oh, solid. That's probably the best soda. So
Yes.
agree, yeah.
I think it's not as good over here. I think it's better in the US. I think they can add stuff to it that
Oh. That's
No
what I'm
other
supposed to
country.
drink, right?
yeah, literally. I think you guys have like
rat
you're quite
poison.
loose with the rules.
Yeah.
That shit
But
really
it's still
hits,
really
bro.
good. It's still
Worth
really
it.
good over
It's
here.
worth it. Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh,
Fun. I think I'd have to have a roast dinner, a proper English roast dinner, and it sounds so middle class. A nice roast dinner and a nice glass of red wine, and I'd be happy. That'd be
yeah.
nice.
That's
I'll go with
I sound
that.
like an old man. I'm in my 20s.
Yeah. For the sake of something a little bit different, there's a really nice kebab takeaway near where I'm from. I had one the other day, and it's like there's so many dodgy kebab places, but this one is amazing. And yeah, right, I'd choose that. And
That would be your last meal.
oh, it's difficult. I was going to say roast dinner with red wine, but that's been taken. But yeah, and that with a my favorite beer, which is a Lauenbrau. So that 100%. That would be my death row. Hopefully, we never end up on death row.
No.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
Oh, I'd live next to SpongeBob SquarePants.
So true.
Right next
That's
door.
true. Yeah.
That's a tough one.
It is, yeah.
It's a very tough one. Have you guys seen The Dark Crystal? It was a
I don't-
Netflix series.
I don't think so.
I'd go there. It's weird and it's like enchanted forests and all that kind of thing, and
Ooh.
you just get lost. Like cities in clouds and stuff like that. Take that, yeah.
Okay.
That sounds sick.
Yeah. Do you guys watch have you watched Homeland? Do you watch that or do you not? You don't rate it?
I've heard
of
of
it.
it.
Is it
I
not-
haven't heard of it.
Oh, it's based on it's a US thing. It's got what's her name? Claire Danes, and it's like about the CIA and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe they don't show it in the US. I thought they did, but it's not like a fantasy world. But I think if I wasn't doing music, I'd quite like to do that kind of thing, like work in intelligence. Or the police or something.
All right. So I have the honor of asking the last question, and every single person we've spoken to have said that it is the most important question.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my
What's
god.
your favorite color?
Purple.
I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but mine's probably black.
Okay.
Solid.
Solid.
Mine
Well, I
too.
think there is black.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, I'm
Black's
actually
slim.
wearing.
It's slim.
I'm wearing the
isn't it,
same
black,
thing as you,
so-
mate.
Oh my god.
Hell yeah.
That's
Right.
silly.
So I heard purple, black, and
And blue.
all right.
Blue.
Awesome.
BLOO.
So as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you guys would like to plug?
Yeah,
Open Roads.
everything. So yeah, our next single is Open Roads. If whenever this comes out, it came out on the 16th. And we're Coral _Palms_ on Instagram. But if you just type in Coral Palms on any social media, we're gonna come up. You might have to
Okay.
sift through some Brooklyn Nine-Nine stuff, but we're there.
All right. Well, thank you. First now, this guy's been Coral Palms, and we're the Good Noise podcast.